Hello guys, so today in this video I'll be doing again something else that I haven't done before, and this is I'll be installing a new radio into my car, the Dodge Challenger, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now this is something I've never done before, along with pretty much all of the other stuff that you saw me uploaded about showing how to do and all that stuff. Never done them before. The only thing I'm used to doing is fixing computers. That's what I do. But I like messing around and learning new things. So this is gonna be one more of those. So first off, let me show you what we're working with currently, and how you start the process. So this is the current radio that I have right now, and there's a couple of issues with it. Um, I won't even go into listing. It's complete trash. And this is the new radio that I bought on Amazon. And it comes with like a reverse camera as well, and a couple of other goodies. And yeah, I'll be installing it today. And we got the GoPro right here. As soon as I get ready to start opening it up, I'll put on. Guys, so we are back. GoPro hooked up and ready to go. And yeah, so we have the stereo here, and this thing's a beast. Like I said, it has this reverse camera that it comes with, and I'll be hooking up that as well. You know, it can do a lot of stuff. I was impressed. I'll put a link to it on Amazon, so you can see all the specs and stuff about it. Well, it's pretty cool. A big upgrade on this right here. So yeah, we pretty much, you know, are all set to go. So what I'm gonna do first, or what it's recommended that you do first, is and guys, you know, always do your own research and stuff before you decide to, you know, do stuff like this, just to make sure you cover your bases. So one of the first thing that you want to do is disconnect the battery. So now that's done, you just get into removing the cover panel. That's the first thing you want to remove, so you can, you know, start to disconnect the wires and stuff like that, and get access to the screws to pull the radio out. So you start from the top and work your way around. And that's off. You can start disconnecting these stuff. Here we go. You have the panel removed, and now you have the should be four. I guess these guys, when they put in the radio, they left one of the screws out. Now you have access to the supposedly what would normally be 4 screws to remove. I just have 3, so you start removing those. And there you have it. Put that to the side. Get the new radio out. Alright guys, so I have everything hooked up. I recommend all of you guys do this, that are installing electronics and stuff like that. I do it when I'm working on computers mostly. You don't want to put everything all together before you test it. You hook them up as safely as possible, and then you test them, because the device you bought might be defective, and then you waste your time hooking it up and then have to take it out, or just to know if you hooked up the cables correctly. So what I'm doing now is just a test, just to make sure all the wires are reconnected correctly, and that the radio works correctly, and that I have the reverse camera hooked up correctly. So everything will be properly put in after the test is completed, right? So that's what I'm about to do right now. I'm about to test the radio for the first time. Here we have the Sony that I took out, put it to the side, and yeah, so I'm going to show you how I have things hooked up right now. We have the cable for the rear view camera running from the radio, you see here, all the way back here, and it's hooked up to the positive lead on the reverse light, and the negative is hooked up to the negative lead on the reverse light. And then here's where I mounted the reverse camera, just for testing purpose. And what should happen if this is hooked up correctly, what should happen is when you put the car in reverse, the reverse camera should kick on right away. Now the way I'm gonna hook it up, where I prefer it to be, and you guys can do that as well, is I want it to work all the time, not just in reverse. So that's the way I'm gonna do it. But this is just for the straight up installation purpose, as to the way they expect you to use it. But for me, I'll be running these wires different, because I want the camera to work anytime. I want to be able to switch to it and still be able to see what's coming behind me. Say if you're towing or stuff like that, that's the way I want mine to work. But for the testing purpose, hooking it up the way typically you'd hook it up. And if you want it to stay on all the time, what I would have to do is you'd have to run the power cable. You'd have to run the power cable to the front, so that it can get power to it from the front, from the radio connector, instead of from the reverse light connector. That's the only way you'll be able to get it to stay on all the time. And that's pretty much how you'll do it. Now we'll just test. So now I'm going to turn it on, and battery's already hooked up obviously, and see if it works. Alright, now to see if the radio works.
Let me in, and I ended up getting my degree, and then a few years ago they gave me a doctorate.
Alright, so first off, the radio's working just fine. That's the biggest plus right there. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test the reverse and see if the reverse light comes on, if it's hooked up properly. So you put the car in reverse, and then immediately it should switch to the reverse camera. And there we go. And you put it back into drive or park, and you just go back to whatever option you was on. And unfortunately, I wish there was the option here that says F cam, that means front camera. So if you have it mounted to the front, you click on this, and it allows you to look at the front camera anytime you want. But there's no option for reverse camera to do that with. But it's still fine. Now I'm gonna test the the other features of the radio. Let's see, make sure the Bluetooth works. So I gotta connect it to my phone. There it is. Now it's connected. Sync. Now, if it's connected correctly, should be able to play some music. And there we go. Bluetooth works just fine. Next test. Next test is the mirror link, and that's when you want to display whatever is on your phone onto the radio. Like if I'm using the GPS, I want it on here, or I'm watching, I want the kids to watch some Twitch or whatever. It mirrors that on here. So there's a cable for that. That here. It's connecting. Nice, there we go. We got the mirror link. So whatever I'm seeing here, and if you have it in whichever view you have it, it will show it. So
you're like my best friend.
there you go, guys.
You're like my best friend.
That's an A+ for me right there. I've never installed a radio before, let alone a radio in a reverse camera and do all that wiring. Never ever in my life have I done this before, along with 99% of the other stuff that I upload. So what I'm gonna do in order to get the camera, since this thing doesn't have the option, doesn't give you the option to just manually select into the reverse camera all the time. It doesn't give it to you. I don't know why. It should be an option. What I'm gonna have to do in order to get to view the reverse camera whenever I want to is I'll have to, right now it's hooked up to the camera. The reverse camera is hooked up to the reverse camera port on the radio, which is supposed to be, and then there's a port for the front camera. So I'm gonna have to take the reverse off and put it on the front port, and then that way I'll use the front as the reverse, and then that way I can go into, I can see the reverse whenever I want to, and that's my plan. Yeah, it works fine. Everything's good. So now I'm gonna shut everything down and run the wires the way it's supposed to, and I'll see you guys at the end for that. Okay. Make sure you see the cable for the AC control and the fan control properly. You'll know if you didn't seed it properly, because these won't work, or they won't light up, either one. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. You know, nothing too crazy. Like I said, if you're not too comfortable messing with electronics, especially if it's stuff you never done before, I recommend taking it to somebody that does these stuff for a living, and just let them do it. But if you're like me, you like to explore and push the boundaries and try new stuff, and you know, save some money while you're at it, then you know, follow my tips, and if it helped, you know, good. If not, too bad. I didn't have anybody teaching me, so if I can do it,
we've already discussed the FM set.
Hopefully you guys you know, enjoyed it, and it was fruitful and helpful. And yeah, just continue to push your limit, you know, just keep trying new stuff, and you know, you'll get there eventually, to the point that you're trying to get to. So you guys have a good one. I'll see you soon.